and welcome to the Carlsbad City Library. My name is Karen Bliss, and I'm here today to talk to you about some of my favorite historical fiction reads. Our first book is All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. Bombs fall from the sky, pouring out from the heavens and reverberating the air with their power and destruction. Mari Lore feels the onset of World War II in her bones and in her very being. She cannot see it, however, because an illness left her blind when she was just 6 years old. Her father, the master of locks and keys at the Museum of Natural History in Paris, has constructed a perfect miniature of their neighborhood for Mari Lore. She uses her sense of touch to memorize every gate and house and alley in this replica. This helps her get back her control, gives her a sense of security and familiarity. But all of that is shattered when Hitler's troops occupy Paris, causing Mari Lore and her father to flee the only home she's ever known and seek refuge in an estranged uncle's house by the sea. On their journey, they carry what could be a priceless object from the museum, which places the LeBlanc family in incredible danger. On the other side of the war resides an orphan boy in Germany. Werner is enamored by machinery. It begins with a broken radio that his sister and him find in an old storage shed. With time and dedication, he gains the know-how and becomes an expert at building and fixing these crucial instruments. Instruments that lead him into a place of prominence with the Hitler Youth. As time goes on, Werner becomes more cognizant of the suffering that is resulting from his radio skills. When his story converges with Mari Lore's, he must make a pivotal choice that will affect both of their futures. Read All the Light You Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. Next, we have The Forgotten Garden by Kate Morin. A lost child. The year is 1913, at the start of what will be known as World War I, and a little girl is abandoned on a ship to Australia. She is completely alone, with nothing but a suitcase and a large book of fairy tales. A mysterious woman called the authoress had promised to look after her, but the authoress has disappeared, leaving little Nell to fend for herself. An unnerving secret. On the night of her 21st birthday, Nell O'Connor learns a secret that could change everything she thought she knew about her life. She ruminates with this secret, and it's decades later that she decides to embark on a search for the truth. The journey leads her to the windswept Cornish coast and the strange and beautiful Blackhurst Manor, once owned by the aristocratic Monttrachet family. A mysterious inheritance. Many years later, with the news of Nell's death, her granddaughter, Cassandra, comes into an unexpected inheritance. Cliff Cottage and its forgotten garden are notorious among the Cornish locals for their secrets that they hold. Secrets about the doomed Monttrachet family and their ward, Eliza Makepeace, a writer of dark Victorian fairy tales. It is here that Cassandra will finally uncover the truth about her family. With the help of the Forgotten Garden and the beautiful book of fairy tales, Cassandra will solve the century-old mystery of a little girl lost. This is The Forgotten Garden by Kate Morin. Our third story is Water for Elephants by Sarah Gruen. Jacob Janowski doesn't talk much these days. It's not that he doesn't have a lot to talk about. He has some stories that could knock some of these old-timers right out of their wheelchairs. Spending 7 years working for the circus like he did provides plenty of fodder for conversation. But Jacob knows that if he started talking about those memories of a world filled with clowns and freaks, wonder and passion, its own rules and its own way of life, then he might let the secret slip. It was her secret, one that he had promised to keep and that he had kept for the last 70 years. In the midst of the Great Depression, Jacob's luck had run out. Orphaned and penniless, he had no direction until he landed on a rickety train that was home to the Benzini brothers' most spectacular show on Earth. A veterinary student, just shy of a degree, he was put in charge of caring for the circus menagerie. This opportunity was for Jacob both his salvation and a living hell. There he met Marlena, the beautiful equestrian star who married the wrong man. Her husband, August, was a handsome animal trainer with a wide, mean streak. And then he met Rosie, an untrainable elephant, who was the great hope for this third-rate traveling show. The bond that grew among this group of misfits was one of love and trust, and ultimately, it becomes their only hope for survival. Read Water for Elephants by Sarah Grew. This is Brooklyn by Colum Tobin. I'm going to read you a little bit of it. Georgina began to put makeup on, getting Eilish to comb her hair out even straighter now that the brushing was done, so that it could be tied back into a bun. "Don't look too innocent," she said. "When I put some eyeliner on you and some rouge and mascara, they'll be afraid to stop you. Your suitcase is all wrong, but there's nothing we can do about that." "What's wrong with it?" "It's too Irish, and they stopped the Irish." "Really? Try not to look so frightened." "I'm hungry." "We're all hungry. But darling, you don't need to look hungry. Pretend you are full." "And I almost never wear makeup at home." "Well, you're about to enter the land of the free and the brave." Eilish Lacey is a young woman from a small town in Ireland in the years following World War II. Though skilled at bookkeeping, she cannot find a job in the miserable Irish economy. When an Irish priest from Brooklyn offers to sponsor Eilish in America, to live and work in a Brooklyn neighborhood that's just like Ireland, she decides that she must go, leaving her fragile mother and charismatic sister behind. Eilish finds work at a department store on Fulton Street. And then, when she least expects it, she finds love. Tony, a blonde Italian from a big family, slowly wins her over with patient charm. He takes Eilish to Coney Island and Ebbets Field, and home to dinner in the 2-room apartment he shares with his brothers and parents. Tony talks of having children with her, who are Dodgers fans, of course. But just as Eilish begins to let herself fall in love with Tony, devastating news from Ireland threatens the promise of their future. Find out what happens in Brooklyn by Colum Tobin. Our final read is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. My sister is filled with more courage than sense, and I fear I will not be able to protect her this time. We thought we would be safe here in Carreville. We are just a small village in France. I'm a school teacher, and my husband a postman. We did not sign up for this war, and yet here we are in the middle of it. I thought if that we just kept our heads down and let these German soldiers into our homes, that things would one day return to normal. But with my husband Antoine deployed to the front lines in this war, like every other man between the ages of 18 and 35, I am afraid. A feeling that my sister Isabel does not seem to know the meaning of. Isabel has always possessed a fire within her. She is young and passionate, demanding justice in an unjust world. I keep begging her to keep her mouth shut and toe the line, but she refuses. That's the difference between my sister and me. Isabel wants to resist the German occupation, and I just want to survive it. I tell myself it's easier for her because she doesn't have anyone to worry about, like I have to worry about my husband and daughter Sophie. But now, Isabel is on the verge of making a dangerous decision, and there will be no turning back. There's a small part of me that admires her for her strength, but I am terrified. The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. All right, so that's it for me. Thanks so much for listening. I hope I've inspired you to pick up a historical fiction read from your local library. Goodbye.